afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I want to send out a great big thank you. I want to send out a great big thank you to everybody who has been tipping me with the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. I've gotten a few tips lately, and I don't know who the individuals are, and I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank everybody who's been tipping me on PayPal. You know, I try and send out an email to everybody who sends me a tip on PayPal, thanking them and letting them know how much I appreciate the support for the channel that you guys are doing. And everybody on Patreon. I'm still new to Patreon. I would like to start being a little more active on Patreon for you guys. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the support for the channel. Thank you for the support from my family. It means a lot to us. This channel, I never intended on making money with it when I started. I just wanted to start a conversation, share my ideas with people, get the ideas from other people about, economics and things that are taking place in this world. And, it's really grown. We're over 14,000 subscribers now, and it's just, it's surprising to say the least, but it's really changed my life. And it's so much more for the better. And I can't thank you guys enough. I just don't know how else to say it. Thank you. Thought I'd talk a little bit more about digital currency. Last time we had talked about digital currency, we were talking about the digital Yuan. And a lot of people had commented, we already have digital currency. It's called a debit and credit card. And yes, that is a digital form of payment, but it's not a digital currency, okay? Digital currency is different because when you use a debit or credit card or something like that, what you are doing is you're interacting with your bank and another bank, and those two banks are switching money around in accounts. When you use digital currency, you're using a digital wallet. So it's not like when you scan your debit card and you're talking with your bank to say, hey, send some money over to this bank for that account. What you are doing is you're interacting with a distributed ledger system, okay? And what that means is that when you have an app on your phone that says, I have access to my digital wallet, when you make a payment, you are making a payment directly to another digital wallet. There is no bank that you're routing through, okay? It's literally like in the ether, okay? It's a system that's on a distributed ledger, and it's not like dealing with bank accounts, okay? It's seriously a digital form of currency that's not just a digital form of payment, all right? So it's a difference in there. And for those who haven't studied like blockchain technology or the cryptocurrencies and stuff, it's a little hard to wrap your head around how that's different from your just regular old bank account. But it is different. It's not the same system. Digital payments are different from a digital ledger technology or a digital dollar. Now, China has been practicing, essentially. 4 different cities and a few different vendors out there have been using digital currency, the digital yuan, as a form of payment, where you're interacting, like I said, with the distributed ledger technology, where you're sending money, digital currency, from one digital wallet to another. And now China is really going to push this issue over the next couple of years, where they are going to try and get more and more of this digital yuan into the system and being used even globally. Now, right now, like I said, I think they just have 4 cities, and I think they're going to start opening it up to other cities here over the next couple of months. And beginning this month, they're going to start making partial payments to people who work for the government. They're going to be paying them in some of this digital currency. So this is all in preparation to try and have the digital currency up and running at full speed within the next couple of years, and I believe they want to do it before the 2022 Beijing Olympics. Now, the Federal Reserve is also working on something called the Fed coin, and at least that's the nickname, or possibly the real name, that they're going to give the digital dollar. And more people right now are good with the idea of the Federal Reserve making direct payments to them. So when we got the stimulus check, a lot of people said the Fed printed up money and gave it to us. That's not exactly what happened. The Fed bought treasuries from the United States Treasury, and through the Internal Revenue Service, they were able to issue out checks. And they were able to send direct deposits into our checking accounts or into our savings accounts, or however you had the IRS set up for doing tax returns. This wasn't a digital form of currency. This was just a digital payment, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. But I have a feeling that before the Federal Reserve starts injecting money directly into the system, like sending us direct payments, they will have the digital currency, the digital dollar, up and running. And now whether that's put onto a debit card or onto a phone app, or however they plan on distributing this thing, that's what I feel is going to take place before the Federal Reserve starts to do direct payments to the people. Now, right now, I believe the laws are written for the Federal Reserve with the Federal Reserve Act that they cannot just directly deposit money into our checking accounts or even through a distributed ledger system. That is not within the Federal Reserve Act, but it's only a matter of, people changing the laws and the way they're written before that would be possible. And first they have to pretty much get the people's approval because they don't want a lot of backlash from it. So with China already setting up their digital currency and getting that moving and operating, the Fed is probably not too far behind. Now, 90% of the world trade, if I read the article right, and I'll leave links down in the description for this too. If I got this right, 90% of the world trade was done with US dollars, which is huge. But even there, it's a very slow and cumbersome system where you have to, basically have banks dealing with other banks and dealing with account transfers. And this can take a long time. This can take up to days, even weeks, to have the money transferred from one account to the other to make sure that there's no fraud or, any kind of illegal activity or something taking place. When you have a distributed ledger technology or the digital dollar working, it'll be instantaneous. It'll happen pretty much within seconds, let alone, as opposed to weeks or days for the transfers to go through. But at first they need the people to be accepting of it. And that's one of the things that has kind of taken place right now, is that there is so much pain from people losing their jobs, from the shutdown of the system, the lockdown, the stay-at-home orders. All this stuff that is happening is causing a lot of pain for the people, and they are going to be willing to accept just about anything in order to get the system up and moving again. And I have a feeling that at some point here when the stimulus checks, the next time they want to do a stimulus, it's going to be done in a digital form, where you have to have some sort of bank account, or it's going to be issued on a debit card or something. And that'll be the first step. I don't think it's necessarily going to go to a digital dollar at that point, but it's certainly going to be set up with a digital payment system. And then the next round will come with digital payments coming from the Federal Reserve using digital dollars. And at that point, you'll probably have to have your digital wallet up and running, whether it's, like I said, it's on a phone app, or if it's on a debit card, or some sort of form of digital wallet. And that's the way the Federal Reserve will start injecting money into the system to try and get this whole velocity of money moving again, and to cause some inflation. Because right now, even though we're starting to see like a lot of prices moving up, the big worry is about deflation or disinflation, not so much about inflation in the system. Anyway, I hope I didn't babble long. I always seem to feel like I babble when I kind of do these things. But anyway, thank you guys for all the tips on PayPal, Patreon, the digital currencies, the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Thank you guys for the letters. I get some postcards every so often in my P.O. box, and down in the description, down at the very bottom of everything, is where you'll find all the addresses and stuff like that for if you want to send me a letter, or if you want to send me an email or something like that. It's all down there in the description. All right, Uneducated Economist. You guys let me know.